Okay, we're in preparations for Oregon State. Obviously, we were off last week, and so things have. We started practicing Thursday of last week. Gave the guys a couple days off after the UCLA game. Came in, watched the film Monday. A couple down days for them, and then back Thursday. And so we're right in the middle of preparations. So questions.
How did this bye week go for you guys as far as physical health is concerned?
Good. It gave us a chance to. We're right out about mid-season, so we got our legs back underneath us, and you start to get a little leg weary about mid-year, so it came in a good point in time for that. Got some downtime for the guys. It's a little bit different where you come back after a bye for a Thursday contest rather than a Saturday, and so it's not your typical bye week. But I think we made the most of it, which we try to do, obviously, every time we have a bye.
Coach, are we going to find out when Oregon State finds out who the starting quarterback is, and how did both those guys look in practice this week?
Yeah, that's the plan going forward. And again, it's not a huge strategic move. It's just something that why tip your hand if you don't have to, and we don't have to. It's not like the NFL where you have to declare, what's going on. And so they've handled themselves very well in practice, and you'd expect both of them to work hard, just like they have all year long, and really no change in our approach in that regard.
Kyle, can you break down the special teams play and why it's been so effective? Is it just a matter of having good players, or what's going into this?
That's certainly the biggest factor is the talent level. We've got an excellent kicker, Nanny Phillips. Hackett is one of the nation's best punters. Clay is one of the nation's best return men. And outside of that, we have all the guys, the supporting cast, buying into what we're doing on special teams. Clay has returned 4 kicks for touchdowns, but it's not all Kalen Clay. It's a bunch of guys working their tails off to block for him and get him space so we can make that happen. And then with Andy and Tom, they're just very, very talented at what they do, and that whole thing has added up to some pretty good special teams play so far.
You coach special teams, right? Can you talk a little bit about what goes into that and the emphasis on it?
Well, it's all, I'm the point person with the special teams, but we do have what we call lead coaches for the other phase. I handle the punt team myself. Coach Scally handles the kickoff team. Coach Shaw handles punt return, and Coach Stubblefield handles kickoff return. And collaborative effort with PAT field goal. Jim Harding handles the protection. We have different responsibilities within that. But for me, it's just a matter of keeping it organized, making sure throughout the work week, the practice week, that we have the right amount of time devoted to each phase, meeting time and on the field, making sure that the content of the scout report and just all the detail stuff that goes into preparing for a game special teams wise is in order. And so I'm not going to sit here and say it's I'm doing everything, because I'm not, but I'm the guy that is responsible to get it structured.
Last year, Sean Mannion and Brandon Cooks kind of gave you some fits. Obviously, Cooks is in the NFL now. But what are you seeing from Mannion this year, and maybe what's different this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, well, first of all, Cooks was, I thought, the best receiver in the Pac-12 last year. The guy was phenomenal talent. And, as far as this year as opposed to last year, they're running the football better this year than they were last year. As a team, they've got 2 backs that are a 1-2 punch. They both, ironically enough, have the exact amount of carries, and I think within a yard or 2 of each other as far as the total yards for the season, net yards. So they're getting good production there. Sean Mannion's numbers are a little bit off this year as opposed to last year. He had that monster game against us last year, and several others. There was several weeks last year where he put up big time numbers, and hasn't quite had that statistical impact this year, but he's still a great leader for them and doing things they need to have him do to win games, which they've done.
Last year you beat Stanford and then kind of had a letdown the next week. Have you told the guys anything about after this big win against UCLA, what to guard against?
Yeah, we've talked about that, and I don't want to say, I don't know if I agree with letdown. We just we didn't get the win against Arizona. We lost Travis in the first half. Actually, it was the first series or 2, I think, is when he hurt his hand. And we actually were right in the ball game to the very, very end. The score was a little more, the differential was a little more than how the game actually was. I think Kadeem Carey popped a run on us in the last drive to make it out of reach. But we definitely have had that conversation, how we didn't capitalize on a big win last year. versus Stanford. And the timing of the game is almost identical. I think Stanford was week 6 last year rather than week 5, which the UCLA game was. And so, anyway, it's a one game at a time mentality, but we hope to have a better result throughout the second half of the season this year than we did last year.